And then Bruno, we got one more for you.
Sure.
We'll just see on this particular question. So the question goes, what do you guys do when you have a property deal that falls into a fraud deal? We have tried every avenue to sue the property practitioners and the previous owners. They've just liquidated their company that belongs to the franchise and then continue to trade under a new name. Whilst as the buyers, we have lost everything. Who is responsible for this? Surely the law must apply where many people would continue to scam people, liquidate, and then move on to the next scam. Yeah, it seems that every criminal is above the law and untouchable in the property game.
Sure. So I empathize and sympathize for these types of situations where people get taken for a ride. Unfortunately, the question as it's posed at the moment doesn't give us sufficient detail to actually be able to really answer. Sorry, Nick, just a heads up. I see my battery is going to die, so it's going to be very short and sweet. Look, long story short, we can't answer this particular question. We don't have enough detail. What I have seen from fraudulent transactions specifically is when it comes to RDP houses and the transfer of RDP houses by way of an affidavit. The reality, unfortunately, is these methods of transfer aren't actually valid. So there's people out there. The fraud in this property space comes in by tricking people into a false sense of security by buying something in the wrong way. The system as a whole works perfectly because through the deeds registry, it's very easy to verify who actual owners are. Transfer won't take place until this verification is done by conveyancers, and money is actually held in trust pending the transfer of the property. So the system as it stands is good. The problem is when there's an explanation on a different way of doing things that's not in accordance with the system. And unfortunately, yes, in those circumstances, there may be fraudulent transactions. Unfortunately, then the question is that of criminal law. You've been defrauded, somebody sold you a product that doesn't exist, or defective product, and the sale hasn't been effected properly, so maybe ownership doesn't pass. It's not something that's rampant in the sense that more property transactions are done properly than fraudulently, but those that do fall between the cracks, unfortunately, best bet is criminal charges. If it is fraud, the liquidation, you can go after directors in liquidation. There's plenty of options for recovery. The problem is they're not always easy, and it does depend on prospects, and it depends on the person actually having the funds to be able to recover from. We've done it plenty of times, but again, there are certain cost implications to this, and that can be a hindrance. If that is a hindrance, your criminal law might unfortunately be the only solution you have. If you do have a number of people that have been defrauded, that could also be an option, because then an attorney can do one job for 5 people, and then the cost decrease by 5-fold, which would assist. I hope that quick answer helps.
Yeah, and I think with the I think with this, it's something that just needs a little bit more looking. The writer remains anonymous. I don't know whether you've seen an attorney, but it might be something worth, actually taking to attorney if you haven't done so already, and having them look at the details to see exactly what steps can be taken in the circumstances. So, yeah. All right. Perfect. Thank you, Bruno.
Thanks so much.
Hundreds. And then we'll see you again next week.